In Islamic scholarship, bukhul stinginess or miserliness is viewed not merely as a social flaw, but as a significant spiritual and ethical disease of the heart that disrupts an individual's relationship with God and society. Conceptual framework of bukhul. Scholars define bukh as the failure to fulfill one's duties regarding wealth, particularly when that wealth is held as an amana, divine trust from Allah. It represents a deficiency in spending, where spending is required by Sharia or noble character. The golden mean Islamic ethics, akhlaq, places bukh at one extreme of a spectrum. The mean or virtuous path is moderation, was atiyya or title, which sits between the vice of prodigality, extravagance, israf or tabzir, and the vice of stinginess, bukh. Root in the ego. In Sufi traditions, bukhul is seen as a manifestation of the ego nafs and its excessive love for the material world. Overcoming it is considered essential for moral perfection and spiritual health. Scholarly views and categorizations. First, Imam al-Ghazali. In his magnum opus, Ihya Ulum al-Din, the revival of religious sciences, al-Ghazali classifies bukhul among the mulakat destructive vices. He argues that stinginess stems from a lack of trust in Allah's providence, tawakkul, and an irrational fear of poverty. It is a form of internal ugliness, qub, that emerges when reason is dominated by greed and self-love. The remedy involves both knowledge, recognizing the temporary nature of wealth and action, forcing oneself to give until the habit of generosity is formed. Second, Sayyid Ali Hamadani. Following the Ghazalian tradition, Hamadani identifies bukhul as a vice that emerges when a person's inner reason is overpowered by evil forces. He contrasts it with munificence sakha, which arises when a person maintains a balance in their internal spiritual forces. Third, modern economic and ethical perspectives. Contemporary scholars emphasize the socio-economic impact of bukhul. Wealth circulation. Stinginess is seen as a barrier to the equitable distribution of wealth. By hoarding, the miser prevents wealth from circulating and benefiting the needy mustahik. Consumption ethics. In Islamic consumption theory, a consumer must avoid both israf, excess, and bukhul deficiency. Proper wealth management requires spending that fulfills basic needs and enhances quality of life without indulging in hedonism. Consequences of bukhul. Scholars highlight several grave consequences of stinginess based on the Quran and Hadith. Spiritual ruin. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sought refuge from bukhul, grouping it with anxiety, sorrow, and cowardice as a state of spiritual and mental distress. Social fragmentation. Stinginess is viewed as a despicable mental attitude that damages human relations and causes suffering within the Muslim community. Divine punishment. Quranic exegesis, for example, of Surah Al-Layl, verses 8 to 11 suggests that those who are miserly and consider themselves self-sufficient will face difficulty in this world and the hereafter, and their wealth will not save them from destruction.